Okay, so today we're going to talk about elimination. Elimination, purging, again. I know we talked about this earlier, but it happens again when we shift and decide to make certain changes in our life. And over, we need to always reassess where we're at, reflect, and then see what we need to let go of and eliminate in our lives again. Because as you know, you start to live life, things start to accumulate again, just like going through a junk drawer, just like going through your mail, deleting things, deleting messages, going through old, journals or whatnot. It's just like a process of elimination and purging as you live life. So this is just a part of your natural cycles. It's about integrating that into your normal way of living is also focusing on eliminating. It's kind of like in the gross way of just equating it back to our body. We have to eliminate if we're going to keep on eating. We can't just stuff, and then not expect it to leave us, to leave our bodies and to exit. So it's important that we have good bodily elimination. And sometimes we can, since we're on this focus, I've been really on this focus right now of paying attention to the type of foods you eat and how it reacts to your digestive system. Are you holding on to things? Are you not able to properly eliminate? Does that mean, because usually when things are happening in our bodies, it's also correlating to how it is in our energy, because they coincide. They're not separate, even though we have been taught to view them as such. So when we are struggling with maybe constipation, like what do you physically or energetically holding onto in your life and not releasing and letting go? So things like that, where you're starting to kind of be more self-aware, have a different focus, a different perspective on those things, and then take a day to go through the space that you're living in. If you live in a room or in a house, an apartment, to clean up different aspects of your space, really including, like, say, different books you have, different clothes, papers, like I had said, just things that feel like cluttered. Because when our space is cluttered, then it still is, it sends an energetic signal too. So we want to purge things and also purge different ways that we view ourselves. So that's a super physical way to do things. And when we do those physical shifts, we have energetic shifts. But we're also talking about purging and getting rid of the thought or the persona that you think that you were, old versions of yourself, different ways of thinking, different patterns and different reactions. So we want to look at those and say, okay, yes, after moving through these days, this is no longer me when I started day 1 to now day 23. And let me purge that version of myself. Let me let go of her or him. Let me go of that version of myself that I no longer am now, to allow space for that new version of yourself to come through. And what that does is, as we keep taking off these layers of what isn't actually us, that was put on by society, put on by family, put on by yourself to fit in, all these different things, as we keep taking and purging off all of these layers, we get to actually see who we are, underneath that original light, that original frequency that we have, so that we can really shine authentically and really be able to be who we came here to be and be the frequency we came here to set on earth. So this is what I mean about elimination and purging and letting go. What are the different ways that are coming up over and over within your life? Like, are you physically not letting things go? Can you not really part with things easily? How good are you doing with change? Things like that. And then also those mental patterns, those mental thoughts. So I want you to look at it physically and also energetically. And that comes with things and also thoughts, and where you're at, and recognize those shifts. So what a good way to start is definitely by journaling these out, especially with thoughts. So if you have something that you no longer want to think anymore, it's not you anymore. You can even have ceremonies with this, of writing it down on a piece of paper and burning it. So just being able to say, nope, this is not me. I'm totally letting this go energetically. And then also pairing that with physical action too, of getting rid of whatever ties you to that version of yourself, or getting rid of maybe old things of old partners that you want to release, things like that. So the transmission today is going to help definitely clear some of the clutter that's within your field still. I remind you that even with all of the energy work that you do in these series, and any energy work that you do with any energy worker, the energy work has to be paired with action, what we're doing in our physical lives too. So you can go and you temporarily take the layers off, but if you go back to the same ways of thinking, you go back to the same version of yourself, you go back to the same thought patterns, you're going to just continue to get the same results. So you have to pair that with action in the physical. So after you listen to this transmission, I want you to do like one thing, throw away one piece of clothing, or one piece of paper, or go through one room, go through your car. Like your car is a big one too. Anything that you can just make that physical shift of like, okay, energetically I'm purging, I'm getting rid of what's no longer serving me, and this is also a physical thing that I'm doing that to pair that with. Just start with one thing, and then it'll just kind of build from there. You'll be like, oh, that feels so good. And then you'll want to do other areas in your life. Okay. So just take a deep breath, and we're just going to clear out your field now. Uscite mo koshe tra shukwe tra mo kwete sikate shitro mo tui dra mo tui dra sekatru dra moi dra setru ta kai tru mo tui sa tri kitri. Ushe sai ko e droi sa kashtoi mo mo drai hai tra mo tui ta kadri setru tra kitra shitro ta moi hai tre no kadre sitra kwetre shitro mo to kwetra shitra yatrai ai shitra oi kitri tro sa tra kitra atri sakai Usha sakai troi mo tui tras shitiran koshtri toi sekitira shtoi trai. Usha sawe shatra mo kui trai setrai koch sai tra mo trai. Ai shtoi tra usha tu koi tra mo shokoi shadai trai. Uro tro so troi kare tikara wetra tre kitra tres kosh tra mo ai trai. Usha hui katri shitro mo tu koi tra shitira ai shitra ushitra mo koi trai sekitrai. Just releasing all cords, attachments, any energies that are attached to you now, just clearing them from all space and time dimension. Turning back to sender, or grounding it down to earth to transmute it. Releasing and releasing and releasing. Really good. So you should start to feel a little bit lighter after that. That feels really nice. Feels really nice transmuting that, actually. So make that one physical shift within your life of something that you can be like, nope, don't need this anymore. It can be super simple. Start with that and see how you can continue that throughout this week. The rest of the last few days that we have within these 30 days. And also just know that you can revisit this when you need to purge out, or just feel like you need to clear, you feel a little foggy or heavy, you feel like, you know what, something just doesn't feel right, I need to release something. You definitely know that you have the power within you to be able to do that on your own, to say, I release any cords, I cut and dissolve any contracts that no longer serve me. I send back all energies that's not mine back to where it came from, or transmuting it with Mother Earth. All those things that you can say out loud with yourself. Water is actually really good too. So if you're in the shower, think the water that's cleansing you, and visualize that washing away and anything that isn't serving you in your energy body. If you're taking a bath, do the same thing in the bath, and then visualize everything that isn't serving you in your field drain down the drain once it's drained. And those are different things that you can do to daily purge anything that's not needed in your field anymore, that you just don't need. All those little files that are just like, but they're still there, but they're still causing some like chaos because you know that they're there. So it's just kind of like, let's get rid of those. Know that you can do that daily, and then know that this is just a general part of living, of being able to be your high frequency self, of just continuing to let go of anything that you no longer need. So I will see you in the next video.